This isn't just a salad. It's a multi-layered, mayonnaise-soaked, cold fish lasagna that Russia refuses to let go. Shuba Herring Salad, also known as herring under a fur coat, is a staple of Russian and post-Soviet holiday tables. A layered creation of pickled herring, root vegetables, and enough mayonnaise to make cardiologists nervous. It's bright purple, unapologetically cold, and tastes like someone decided to turn a fishing trip into a meal. As we go through this culinary journey, you'll know why this dish exists, why it looks like an edible oil painting, and whether eating cold fish covered in mayo is a delicious tradition or an elaborate prank on your taste buds. At first glance, Shuba looks like a cake that has completely lost its way. A bright purple, mayonnaise-heavy tower that sits ominously on the dinner table, daring you to figure out what's inside. This dish goes by many names: Shuba, dressed herring, and herring under a fur coat, because nothing screams "eat me" like the phrase herring under a fur coat. People either swear by it or fear it. There is no in-between. But where did this bizarre, deceptively fancy-looking dish come from? And more importantly, why does it look like a fish decided to dress up as a birthday cake? Let's dig into the strangely festive world of Shuba salad. The only dish that can both impress and confuse you at the same time. The strange and questionable origins of Shuba salad. Like most confusing yet oddly beloved foods, Shuba salad has a backstory that sounds half historical, half fever dream. The dish is said to have originated in early 20th century Russia, when a Moscow tavern owner decided that drunk customers needed something hearty to soak up their vodka and stop fighting each other. His genius solution? A layered salad packed with enough fish, potatoes, and mayonnaise to tranquilize an entire room of rowdy men. The dish was a hit, and before long, it became a staple of Russian celebrations. But of course, this is Russia, so the dish had to carry some deeper meaning. Some say the layers represent different social classes, while others claim the colors symbolize unity, prosperity, or a particularly aggressive love for beets. Whatever the case, by the time the Soviet Union came around, Shuba had cemented itself as a New Year's Eve essential, because nothing screams new beginnings like pickled fish buried under a mayo-soaked vegetable pile. Today, Shuba remains an icon of Russian and Eastern European cuisine. Whether you love it, hate it, or just stare at it in confused horror, one thing is certain. Shuba is here to stay. The ingredients: a carefully engineered mayo-laden masterpiece. If you've ever looked at a salad and thought, this needs way more layers, root vegetables, and existential dread, then congratulations. Shuba is the dish for you. It consists of 6 key ingredients, each playing a crucial role in making this the most unexpectedly elaborate way to eat pickled fish. Pickled herring, the foundation of this culinary experiment. Salty, briny, and unapologetically fishy, it sits at the bottom, waiting to surprise the unsuspecting. Potatoes, because in Eastern Europe, if a dish doesn't contain potatoes, is it even food? These boiled and grated spuds act as a starchy buffer, helping absorb the aggressive flavors lurking above. Carrots, boiled and shredded, because apparently this dish wasn't orange enough yet. Beets, the real star of the show. Their aggressive magenta color is what makes Shuba look like a birthday cake but taste like pickled seafood. Eggs, hard-boiled and grated, adding a mildly confusing but necessary textural element. And finally, the mayonnaise, the glue that holds this entire creation together. No delicate drizzle here. Each layer is aggressively slathered with mayo, ensuring maximum richness and the structural integrity of this edible tower. Despite its chaotic ingredient list, every element serves a purpose. The saltiness of the herring, the earthiness of the beets, and the unholy amount of mayonnaise come together to form something that shouldn't work but somehow does. And now, the real challenge begins. Stacking these ingredients into a visually impressive, mildly intimidating masterpiece. Building the beast. How to assemble and eat Shuba without questioning reality. Shuba isn't just a dish, it's a construction project. Unlike a regular salad, which you can just throw in a bowl like a normal person, this one requires precision, patience, and an unshakable commitment to mayonnaise. The layering process begins with the pickled herring, which is firmly pressed down to form a fishy, briny foundation. Next comes the grated potatoes, acting as a soft buffer between you and the regret you might feel later. Then the carrots, because apparently, this dish wasn't colorful enough. After that, hard-boiled eggs, adding a protein boost that no one asked for. And finally, the beets. The reason Shuba looks like a dessert, and the reason your hands will be stained for the next 3 days. But wait, we're not done. Between every single layer there's mayonnaise. So much mayonnaise, enough to make your arteries whisper, "Please, no." This creamy binding agent is what turns Shuba from a pile of ingredients into a fully formed mayo-glazed monolith. Once the layers are stacked, the salad is left to chill, allowing the flavors to meld, which is a polite way of saying let the herring invade every other ingredient. Now, eating Shuba is an experience in itself. The first bite is a confusing combination of textures and temperatures. Soft, creamy, earthy, fishy, tangy, rich, somehow all at once. Your brain will struggle to process what's happening, but before you can even react, someone will be handing you another slice because this is a dish meant to be forcefully shared. And that's the magic of Shuba. It defies logic, taste expectations, and the conventional definition of what a salad should be. But in the end, somehow, it works. The eating experience, a dish that defies expectations. Shuba Herring Salad is served cold, sliced into neat cake-like portions, and plated with the solemnity of a military ceremony. The first bite is confusing. Your brain expects dessert, but instead, you get fish. The beets are earthy, the herring is salty, and the mayonnaise is a non-negotiable contract that binds them all together. Tourists experiencing it for the first time go through the 5 stages of grief. First, denial. Surely this is just an appetizer. Then, bargaining. Maybe if I eat around the herring. Eventually, acceptance. Fine, I live here now. And yet, despite the shock factor, Shuba Herring Salad remains a beloved holiday tradition. Because tradition doesn't care if you like it. It just keeps showing up on your plate. Cultural significance. Why it's not going anywhere. Despite being the undisputed New Year's champion of Russian salads, Shuba has managed to spread beyond Russia and into neighboring countries, each of which has added its own flair, or crimes, to the dish. In Ukraine and Belarus, the recipe stays mostly true to its roots, but some families swap herring for other types of fish, because apparently not all fish deserve the honor of being buried under a fur coat. Meanwhile, in Lithuania and Latvia, some people add grated apples between the layers for a refreshing twist, because nothing says, "I don't trust my food choices," like combining fish, beets, and fruit. Then there's the modern reinventions, where people try to make Shuba fancier than it was ever meant to be. Some chefs deconstruct it into high-end versions, served in delicate portions, stripping it of its towering glory. Others attempt aesthetic plating, arranging the layers into neat geometric shapes as if that's going to make eating pickled fish, under mayonnaise any less intimidating. There's even a vegetarian version, where the herring is replaced with mushrooms. At that point, you're just eating beets and mayonnaise pretending to be Shuba, which is like ordering a hot dog without the sausage and insisting it's the same experience. No matter the variation, one thing remains constant. This salad is always layered, always covered in mayo, and always polarizing. Whether you eat it the traditional way or in a hipster-approved, deconstructed format, Shuba is Shuba. And it will never be subtle. Is Shuba healthy? Let's pretend to care. If you're asking whether a mayonnaise-drenched, fish and root vegetable tower is healthy, you already know the answer. On one hand, it's packed with protein, omega-3s from the herring, fiber from the vegetables, and important vitamins. On the other hand, it's also packed with enough mayo to single-handedly keep your cardiologist employed. Let's just say Shuba isn't the worst thing you could eat, but it's also not winning any wellness awards anytime soon. The salad that defies logic. Shuba is a culinary paradox. It looks like cake but tastes like fish. It's called a salad but contains 0 lettuce and a reckless amount of mayonnaise. It's a dish that challenges expectations, defies logic, and forces you to confront the reality of cold, pickled fish wrapped in a beet-flavored mayonnaise blanket. Love it or hate it, this dish refuses to be ignored. It's a New Year's staple, a conversation starter, and possibly the most visually deceptive food in Eastern Europe. Whether you're diving in headfirst or cautiously observing from a safe distance, one thing is certain: Shuba is here to stay. So, should you try it? Absolutely. if only to say you survived it. Because whether you love it or hate it, one thing is certain: you will never forget the day you ate Shuba herring salad.